Hi, hello. My name is Sam Trito, and this is my presentation on This Place Matters, Main Street Station Diner in 105 Main Street, Plymouth, New Hampshire. Uh, this is one of my hometowns. I went to high school here. Well, I went to part of high school here, and I love this diner. I've been going here for a while. I'm going to talk about it. So I'll start off with the history. The construction of the construction of the building was in 1949 by the Worcester Lunch Cart Company. It's a company that constructed well over 800 of diners with their exterior design reminiscent of streamliners. Streamliners are a type of train built to reduce air resistance between the years of 1906 and between in the 50s and 60s. And the company, what Worcester Lunch Cart Company, built these restaurants between 1906 and 1956 before it shut down in 1961. If you look right here, you can see a pretty good design for what the outside of the station would look like. I'll show you in a better picture in a second. So Main Street Station itself opened in 1949 under the name Fraser's Diner. It's on the front of it. I'll show that in a second. The name Fraser's Diner and is the 793rd diner constructed out of the over 800 made. In the early 1980s, it briefly went as BJ's Diner until later changing its name to the Main Street Station. And between the 1980s and the early 2000s, a separate dining room was added to the diner. And at one point, as during its stint as a BJ's Diner, the outside of the diner was encased in a brick, but that was later removed. I'm not sure how that happened. I tried reaching out to the owners. They never got back to me, but I tried my best to get to them. But right here, I found this picture on the Plymouth Historical Society. This is Plymouth 1940s to 60s. And if you look right here, you can see the corner of Fraser's Diner, which I thought was super neat. So this is the design of the diner. This is the outside of it. You'll see a better picture of the outside in a bit. But as you can see right here, Fraser's Diner. This outside is kept since the beginning and has stayed, but now you can see there's a new sign that says Main Street Station right up top. And this is the interior of it. See the bar stools and the booths, and the bar right here. And this is the dining room that was added later in the 80s, I believe. So threats to the building, I would say documentation for one. None of the information I found was easy to find. That's why I tried reaching out to the owners because I just couldn't find much on it, but I wanted to talk about it because I knew how long it's been in Plymouth. And from what I was able to find of it, there were a lot of different articles ranging from early 2000s to the 80s to parts in like the 90s. It was all over the place. And it took me a lot so I could try to find some cohesive, and I had to go through a lot to find some cohesive evidence of history. So this one was definitely, I think documentation is very important to keep this one alive. Tourism. So Plymouth is a college town, and between the skiers that come out of state, because New Hampshire's a big skiing state, and the college students in town, it definitely drives away the local business. From times I've been there, I've definitely had to wait for a while, for a long while, and it's just understaffed. I found these shots from the Facebook of Main Street Station. It's just they're just generally need help, and understaffed is always an issue. There's also one more threat, a potential threat. I can't confirm any of this, but it's definitely worth risk. The Common Man. So the Common Man is it's a family-owned company in New Hampshire, and it controls a lot of diners and restaurants and things like that that try to capture a real homey type feel. Think like a New England Cracker Barrel, for one. Like while it's got the Cracker Barrel wooden walls and the um the checkerboard out front and the rocking chairs are also selling like real maple syrup and flannels. Like it's just New England Cracker Barrel. Think of it like that. But this company owns a lot of restaurants in the area, and in Plymouth, they have about seven different restaurants or six different establishments to compete against with Main Street Station, making Main Street Station one of the only ones not owned by the Common Man. And it also controls one some of the most popular diners in different towns. Route 104 diner right here in Plymouth, and not Plymouth, in Meredith, New Hampshire, and Tilton Diner in Tilton, New Hampshire. And don't let the designs fool you. They're from like the 80s and 90s. They're not like actual true 50s diners. And all of the food from different establishments of the Common Man, they're all the same. It's the same menu. Uh, I can tell you for a fact that Main Street Station has a completely different menu. Again, making it a unique standout compared to everything else. And while not malicious, this company definitely runs the risk of taking business away from similar restaurants, including the Main Street Station. So why does it matter? So here's the outside, by the way. Here's the Fraser Center right here, and the general outside looking like the Streamliner. But to me, this diner is a staple of Plymouth. Those who have traveled to Plymouth have likely stopped here for food. I like the food here. Uh, it's just a very popular area, frequent locals meetup spot among people. People after church would come down here and flock right into Main Street. People still calling it Fraser's, people still calling it BJ's. It's been there for a while. It's been in town for 70 years and predates most of the other businesses in town besides like the church and the theater. It's a very communal area, and not many of these diners still exist anymore. Of the over 800 constructed since the 60s, about 138 are still known, according to this one source. Here's a map of some of them. These are some of the 138 still. These are about the 95 still running diners, with about I think 7 under renovation. And Main Street is one of the 10 still in New Hampshire, and about 43 are permanently closed or in storage. That's these guys right over here. And also, this I just have a personal connection to this place. I moved in Plymouth in middle school and left around my sophomore year to Meredith. But despite moving from seventh grade till I left for college, so like the weekend before I left for college, my mom and I would get breakfast here or other restaurants in the area. But a frequent visit was always at Main Street Station, and it's just good food. 5 stars in my book. Not as important as the design of the building, but it's just or like the communal aspect, but it's just good food in my book. 5 stars. I love it. Good gluten-free toast. I'll say that. Good gluten-free toast. It's great. I love it. I just love Main Street. And how it represents the preservation movement, it largely has remained unchanged over its 70-year long lifespan. Besides the addition of the diner, the added on dining room, and the sign up front, the building has remained largely the same over its long period of time. It is part of a largely dead collection of buildings, but this one remained on as one of the remaining few. They're still actively serving the public, which is impressive that's lasted this long. It's still being preserved by the people of the community who don't want it gone. This place is always busy, and I just always needs more love, in my opinion. And this place just matters to Plymouth, New Hampshire, and matters to me as well. And these are my resources. All right, thank you.